Welcome back to another episode of a Career Corner with a young lady, Nontebeko, and she's going to be telling us about her career, what she's doing actually in 2020. And Tobe, take it away. Are we introducing you and take it away?
Okay, ngiyabonga Sanibonani. Igama lami Nontebeko Sibiya. Ngikhulele Kwamashu. Right now ngihlala eCape Town ngokumsebenzi, ngisebenzele icompany igama layo SCI Worldwide.
Okay, pretty much. So tell us.
Sorry. Angibalangi ukuthi ngiyenzani ngokumsebenzi ngiyaqolisa. I work as a software developer for a development company called SCI Worldwide.
Okay, cool. So how does a young girl like you get into software developing? It sounds like a very glamorous thing, a very complicated thing, yes?
No, it's not as complicated as it sounds. I did I did a degree in computer sciences and IT at the University of UKZN. Yes, and then from there I qualified to be a software developer. And the nice thing about the job is that you don't necessarily have to go to university. Other people, they study from colleges, and then other people, they study using videos from the internet. And then as long as you are able to grasp the concepts, and then you can build something, companies are usually interested in what you have to offer and what you can do. The degree is usually it's not necessarily the only thing that they look for.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, because in the space you are, I just thought maybe you have to get a degree. Although I've interviewed somebody who told me more or less in what you're doing, but they said you can do a course for a year in these colleges. So we're talking about this whole 5G thing and working for networks. So, but when did you find out you don't have to do a degree? Did you find out while you in varsity, after you left varsity, or you knew about it, or you just decided to go through the varsity route?
Okay, so I think I only found out about it while I was in university. But I think I might have heard it before, while I was still in high school. But I'm not really sure how much information I had back then, because, like I said, when you grow up in an environment like the one which I grew up under, there's always there's this mindset, in order for a person to be successful, you sort of have to go through phases where you go to school, and then after you finish high school, you have to go to university, and then after you get your degree, that's only when you can actually go and you can get a job, a proper job. So that's that's always been what I've thought. So even if someone had told me that you don't necessarily have to do that, I wouldn't have really believed them. But yeah, after when I got into university and I actually saw what it was that we were doing, then then my mind became more open, and then I saw that there's actually more that you can do, irregardless of where you are. You don't even have to be in university. And in all the things that I found, the videos online that were teaching us how to code, everything is there on the internet, literally everything. You get more than what you get from the university. University, you just get the paper, basically.
Oh wow, that is very, very informative. I didn't know that. I mean, I just knew varsity route, especially job software developer. It sounds like something that a person who has a varsity degree needs. But now what you're telling me, basically, what companies are looking for is for basically your understanding and your application of the knowledge that you've acquired, basically. So, and basically what you practical, that's what they need in most cases.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. So you're saying you sell software developers. Maybe you tell us, if you can. If you can't, I understand, because company policies. What kind of stuff have you worked on? Anything that we know about? Somebody can say, "I actually Nontebeko was part of this thing," or she is currently working with this company. This currently doing this thing.
Doing this. Okay, so the company that I work for, it's in the payments industry. So anything that has to do with doing a payment, whether you are at a retail shop, you are purchasing like groceries. You see that pause there that you see where you insert your card. That's us.
Yes.
When you're buying stuff online, we actually are the ones that develop that whole process and then how it should like go so that things balance at the end of the day. And then like there are like the security that goes, because there's also like people who are like hackers, and then like your money could end up disappearing and whatnot. So we also develop that kind of technology. So my company, that's the thing that it deals with mostly. It's just everything that has to do with payments.
Okay. And in your job as a young black woman working in a company that we all know, predominantly it was, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's normally like mukulma with IT and stuff like that. Back in the day, it was normally like white people who were dominating the thing, like white older men in general. You're a young black woman from Kwamashu, but you're doing this thing in Cape Town. What are some of the challenges that you feel like you face in 17, or everything is just like on cruise control and smooth sailing?
So the kind of challenges, I guess, well, any work I think has its own challenges. But yeah, the kind of challenges that we face is because, okay, so when you work for a company, because there's like a lot of companies that are out there, and what you usually look for is for a place that allows you to grow, so that like whatever it is that you're doing, you can be able to then like go into maybe for other companies, and like when you get there, do something, and then it's something that can be of value. So yeah, it's always about giving value. And then also the other thing about working for these types of companies, or like the career that I went for, is that there's competition. I'm sure there's competition everywhere, and then everyone like wants to make their mark. So you really have to be on your you have to really show what you've got, and you have to also be competitive, and then you must also like show that this is what I'm capable of. Constantly, you just have to show the company that, okay, this is what I can do. And then like with everything that you see, always you try and find ways, identify things, and then like try and see how you can make things better. So yeah, that type of thing.
So basically your job requires you to push yourself. Basically, there's no one who's like behind you, like, have you done this? It's almost like when you get homework at school, when the teacher says, Guti, have you done the homework? You take it out and put it on the table. It's not like, oh, I'm only doing it now, kind of a thing. Like, oh, now you're catching up. You always have to be the one who pushes yourself all the time in the kind of field that you're in, because you just brought out something which is a very competitive space. I didn't know that. I just thought, since it's like not that big, especially amongst the black community, especially amongst young girls, because I want them to get this thing and understand it. One of the reasons why I chose you to be one of the people I interviewed during Women's Month, one young girl to say, Taibo, if this girl is saying she's 24 and she does all these things, she has a place in Cape Town, Kwamashu. There's no difference between Umashu, Nazaskawini, or Ezangezwa, or Ongoye, or Mlazi. You know what I mean? And those young girls can look up to you and say, how things are happening out here, Ganjalo. People are working, they're putting in the hours. If you apply yourself in anything that you do, you can actually live. Because I'm sure when you were young, we never thought you would like Cape Town. You're in Cape Town right now, living your best life in Cape Town. Hopefully safe for Mikove, Kosean, Jace. So that's very, very respectable and admirable of you. Okay, because it's cut to social, and the network, you can say, which is not giving us the full interview that you wanted to have. Any words of encouragement you can give to especially the young girls who are watching this thing right now? So I actually want to be where this lady is right now. How to go about it and the mindset they should have to prepare themselves for this kind of thing that's why inside. Because I can tell you right now, I can feel it is very, very challenging. What can you say to them?
Okay, so first thing I would say is that you must believe in yourself, and then always tell yourself that there's nothing that you can't do in this world. I mean, if someone else can do it, then definitely you can also do it.
Yes.
And also another thing is that nothing in this world just works from magic. You have to put in the work. And also another thing is that if you can see that you are in the dark and then you're not sure about things, you should ask people. If you see someone who is doing like good things and then you are always constantly in your mind thinking, how is this person doing this? How are they doing it? Don't lock yourself in and like be in the dark. Like, you should always ask. Don't allow things to go like too far. Don't stay in the dark too long. Always ask. And then also another thing is that you should also always surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, because for me that really helped me a lot, especially when I was in varsity. I don't want to get into that and then waste too much time, but then you see when they say that, like, there's this phrase that I've heard which says show me your friends and I will predict your future. Like, I heard that when I was still very young, and then it like stuck to me, and I've seen it. Like, if you look at everything in life, if you are surrounding yourself with people who are doing extremely well, you will definitely also do well. But then if you are surrounding yourself with people who are like not motivated, who are like not doing anything constructive, you're also just going to be that person who's just like not pushing any harder. You're also just going to be chilled. So always try and surround yourself with people who are doing good things. And I made a few notes. What else? I don't want to miss some things which I thought would be important. So another thing, is to also do proper research before you choose a course. If you're going to decide, like, say you're going to go to university and then you want to take a course, you should always do your research, because when it comes to this, a lot of people get this wrong, because
there's a sound called. Is that you?
Oh, sorry about that. No, yes, somebody's calling, and I didn't know it would also.
Continue.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was saying that you should do proper research, and then nowadays it's like the world we're living in, it's much easier. You have internet and you can just do research and like get information and then find out what it is that you want to do and how you're going to get there. And sometimes you find that it's not always like the structure that we are all used to, that you're going to go to you're going to finish high school and then go to varsity, and then that's only when you can get to work. You need a degree or that sort of thing. Find out if you really need to do that, or like try and find a way that's more efficient in order to get to where you want to go. And then also the last thing is that is to always like ask why. With everything that you do, always ask, why am I doing this? Because sometimes we may fall into this trap where we just do things and then we are following into other people's footsteps. And you find that we don't even know why we're doing the things that we're doing sometimes. And then we sometimes get lost, and then we find ourselves in a place where we feel like, okay, what exactly am I doing in this thing called life? Like, you find yourself not knowing where you're going, where you're headed. That's because you don't ask. So you should always ask, why am I doing something, before you actually commit to doing something. And then once you know the why, then it becomes easier for you to then carry the whole task of getting to like where you need to be. But you must always just have direction and know why.
Wow, for a young person, you're actually very, very wise, and I salute you and I respect you for that. You're very, very wise. This is one of the best interviews I've had, like, here for Career Corner, and I'm hoping Uguti, like, the kids are here, are listening, the young girls are listening, because we're trying to motivate them so that they will actually focus on building a future for themselves, rather than having somebody saying, hey, I'm going to do things for you, and I respect you for that. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your time. And we have to do part 2 of this thing. I feel like there's a lot of jewels you can drop. I'm going to give you time to grow. We're going to come back and revisit this thing. Maybe when you're calling on. That's our cue to go back. That's our cue to go. Before I'm back, we have a slogan that you say, here it goes, ratata, career corner, ratata. I'll shine it, mama.
Ratata, career corner, ratata.
Yeah, ra. Think big, think sharp. Ra, cut. We out.